So this is how everything started. The rest was pure fun. Hey, what's up guys, Rado here, and you are looking at 2001 YZ125 that I bought for $700 from my friend Marcus and Jeff. This video is going to be a little bit longer, so grab some popcorn or something, sit down and relax and enjoy this build. I can promise you that at the end of the video you're gonna see something really good. I spent over a year building this bike, everything from the idea, everything from working through all the stages. It took more than 1 year, and in the middle of this build I actually got injured. I crashed and tore my rotator cuff. I had to have a surgery and I was recovering. I'm still recovering, feeling much better now, but in the middle of the build it kind of happened to me, so things kind of slowed down a little bit. But at the end, it was all done. And it wasn't only me working on this build. I have to say that Jay Clark from Dirt Bike TV, he did a lot of work as well. And he's actually with me every single build I do. It's pretty much a joint project. I do a lot of wrenching, but without Jay, I wouldn't be able to do many things. So Jay Clark from Dirt Bike TV is my good friend and partner on these builds. So thanks a lot, Jay. And as you can also see throughout the video, it's not only me and Jay working on these builds. We have Brad from Parapros helping with the engine. We have some other people doing different things. Seno metal finishing. Chris Puffer is doing nice Cerakoting for us. Hydroblasting and all that good stuff. So this is a YZ125 that I just fell in love with these 125 engines, and I always wanted to build my own. I rode YZ125 a couple of years ago at the track, and it was just so much fun. If you hit that turn the way it's supposed to be done, if you clutch it right and that thing comes screaming out of the corner, it just feels amazing. So I always wanted to have my own, and I wanted to build something a little bit older because I think these older steel frame YZs, they look amazing. I didn't want to go any aftermarket restyle kit. I didn't want to make this 2001 look like 2020 or something different. I wanted to keep everything original, everything OEM, as I really like this old heritage, and I wanted to see how good this bike would be if I do all the rebuild, if I go through everything, if I update the engine maybe a little bit, but keep the same suspension, same chassis, same everything, and just make it look all brand new and maybe even better than new. But at the same time, I wanted to make it cool and original as well. We look back at YZs in the mid 80s, how they used to look. Red frame, white plastic, and red and white graphics, a little bit of a black too. And I think that looked really amazing. So we looked at everything and we decided that this would be the theme, this would be the plan. So once we take everything apart, as you can see here, we're taking the things apart. It's kind of easy and rewarding to do this first part of a build, and when you're taking things apart, because it doesn't take much. It probably took me like an hour or maybe 2 hours, because I was also filming, and the bike was pretty much sitting on the bench. Everything was apart. So when you are doing this, when you are taking bike apart, get a list going on and write down what you need to buy new, what you need to buy OEM, what is not working, and what is maybe damaged, what is missing, and at the same time take a lot of pictures. This YZ125 is pretty simple. The wire harness is only like one wire harness, few cables going to ignition and going to spark plug and kill switch, and not too much going on there, but still it's good to take pictures and to know wire routing, to know your cable routing, and to know the details. So once you want to put this thing back together, you will know how it goes back together. And if you have bikes that are more sophisticated than this one, that are a little bit more complicated, then definitely need to have a lot of pictures to be able to see how everything goes back together. This right here is a time lapse of all the videos that we did on this build. We have over 15 videos for this build, so every step of the build we took, actually we went deep in a detail, and we were looking at everything and explaining what we are doing. So if you are interested and you want to know more about different steps that we took on this build, check the link below in the description and you can see all the videos in the detail. So before we send it to San Diego powder coating and get it nicely done in red color, we need to fix this. So I came to my buddy Dallas. What's up, Dallas?
I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind 'cause these stairs are all heading me through. I don't wait for tomorrow's sunshine when I feel it today.
Alright guys, so the welding job is done. I think it looks pretty good. We filled it in and then make it look nice. So at this point, we're ready for some powder coating. Thanks, Dallas! San Diego Powder Coating did an amazing job as always. Look at that gas red color on this frame. It looks absolutely amazing. Alright guys, so let's keep going. Next on the list would be to clean all our aluminum parts and throw them in the hydroblasting cabinet. In case you're wondering what I'm using this heavy duty oven and grill degreaser. This thing works really well. I just spray it, let it sit for like 5-10 minutes, and then power wash, and the major grease and dust goes away. So then the guy who's doing the hydroblasting for you doesn't need to clean all that nasty stuff. When you're hitting your engine with pressure washer, make sure that you plug all the holes, the carburetor, and you know, you have a spark plug in and all that. So you don't want to be filling engine with the water when you're cleaning it. And as I said, you don't have to go too crazy with this pressure washing. You just want to make sure that you clean all the big build-up, grease, dust, and all those kind of things before you hit hydroblasting and before you clean everything beautifully. We are at Metal Finishing, Chris Puffer's shop, and this time it's actually first time where I'm actually doing all the work hydroblasting myself. And let me tell you, I had a blast hydroblasting. It's just like so much fun. Now look at all these parts once they are clean. It's just beautiful. You hit it with the water after you are done, and guys, I just can't get enough of it. Thinking how it looked before I came here, and right now, look at that. It's beautiful. Our engine is all clean. We hydroblasted it. Now we're gonna take it apart. We are at Harper's garage, so Brad will take care of this engine. I'll put it on his bench, and then he will take it from here. Let's get busy. Guys, if you do a project like this and you need parts for your dirt bike, you know that you can find majority of these products in your local dealer store. You don't need to buy it online. You can just go to your local store and pick it up. And if you want to know what they have in stock, you can jump on puremoto.com and you can search inventory of your local store online and then drive down to the store and just pick it up. Brad is a master engine builder. He's taking care of all our engine needs, rebuilding 4-stroke, 2-strokes. That's pretty much everything he does. He's a full-time engine builder. We did a math last time we were together. He's been doing this for over 20 years, so if you do the math, he did over 4,000 engines till now and still going strong. So it's definitely, you know, a really nice thing to see Brad doing these engines, working on them. It only took him like 40 minutes to take this entire engine apart. If you guys want to see the detailed inspection after this was taken apart, again, go to that link below and see the engine disassembly video, and you can see all the details. Now we just look at everything, made a plan and list what needs to be done, what needs to be new. And right here we actually made a decision that we want to build a big bore 134 from Tom Morgan. We will send a cylinder and head and power valve to him. We will cut it into 134, make it big bore, new Millennium plating, piston and all that, cut the cylinder, cut the head, and you know, port everything and make it for race fuel only. So this thing will be pretty fast. And we also decided to do a lot of Cerakoting on this engine. So once everything was apart, we took all the parts that need to be Cerakoted, we took them back to Metal Finishing, and Chris Puffer did his magic, going through his process and doing this amazing looking Cerakote on the engine parts and also on the other parts for the build. Here we go, Metal Finishing and Chris Puffer did this beautiful Cerakote for us. Chris, what is it called, this color here?
This is tungsten.
Tungsten, okay, cool. So what exactly did you do with that? What's the process there?
First thing we do is we clean it, soak it in acetone, make sure there's no oils or impurities in the metal, and then you bead blast it and make it rough and give it an edge surface for the Cerakote to stick to. Then it goes in the oven for an hour, which we call gas out. So if there's any oil soaked into the pores, it comes to the surface. As long as it comes out clean, I let it cool off, and then I mix up a batch of Cerakote and we spray it down.
Cool, right on. Race Tech in Corona help us with our suspension work, and I think it turned out amazing. This is deep black anodizing for the forks and also for the shock. Plus we did powder coating on the spring, same color as our frame, so everything will be nicely matching. We decided to take it one step forward and zinc plate all the stock hardware on the bike. So everything that is not brand new, we wanted to give it a treatment and zinc plate it. We had to first throw it in the sonic cleaner, then once that was done, there was no grease on it, we run it on the buffing wheel, and after that we ship it over to our friend Charles from MX Revival, and Charles did his magic, zinc plating, and all the bolts are looking absolutely amazing. All the axles and every single hardware that we don't have new, it's looking pretty much better than new. And we are back at Brad's place at Parapros. We're gonna put our beautiful engine back together. Now we have everything hydroblasted and Cerakoted. We are installing these Pro-X bearings that are pretty much OEM quality. Heat everything up, and then they pretty much slide in, just a little tap of the hammer. Transmission was all good. We didn't have to replace anything in the transmission after 22 years of this bike running and putting smiles on people's faces. It still looked pretty good. So that's all good over there.
Dream big, 'cause boy, you're gonna make it. Stand tall, there's a higher road to take it. Let go of everything that you know and be wild in the mystery. Yeah. I've been.
Andrew Langston rebuilt the crank for us. He split it apart and used the Pro-X connecting rod with all new bearings and everything, put it back together, balance it, and now it's supposed to be running even better than brand new.
Searching for holy flames, a sign to light up the way. So can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been more certain of truth before.
The stock 22 years old clutch basket was really bad. We had to get brand new one from Wiseco. This is a billet aluminum clutch basket. When you're installing these clutch baskets, you actually have to remove the gear from your stock basket and then install it on this new billet aluminum. We are installing these little inserts or sleeves you can call. These are from Rekluse. We are going to run a Rekluse clutch. No, this is not going to be an auto clutch. Rekluse also does other products. They do the regular clutches. This is a torque drive clutch. It works really good and it's much stronger than your stock clutch pack. And these little inserts that we put on the basket, they will just help you not to get the notches on the clutch basket. And every time you replace your stack, your clutch stack, you can just get new inserts and pretty much everything is as good as new.
Scared to look in my soul.
Pretty much all the bolts that are not stock I'm using on this build are from the restoration kit from Spec Bolt company, and I'm using these guys for all my builds. The bolts look amazing, they come nicely divided in little bags so you know what goes where, and it's just super easy to work with them and they look amazing once they are all installed.
I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind climbing 8 more floors, 'cause these stairs are all heading to you. I don't wait for tomorrow's sunshine when I feel it today. And when it's cold in the dead of winter, remember that snow melts away. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. We don't need plans or a fancy agenda. Well, let's just see where it goes. We got no care for the way people stare at the dust and the dirt on our clothes. Hey, my friend, we'll never say remember when, if we keep on making memories where we stand, where we stand. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. And go put on that old wedding dress now. Probably still fits like a glove. And tell the band to play one more slow song, 'cause you still have all my love. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. Let's get happy before we get old. No more whiskey, I'll have a Coke. Catching bass on an old fishing boat. One more story from Grandpa Joe. Let's get happy before we get old.
Oh boy, I'm definitely happy looking at this final product right here. Check out this YZ125 power plant. This engine looks absolutely amazing. Brad did amazing job putting it all together. Look at all the hydroblasting, all the shiny bolts, the Cerakoting. I think everything comes together real nice. I look forward to ride this thing 134 rocket chip from Tom Morgan. Next on our list would be to go to Dirt Bike TV Garage, and Jay Clark has this really cool big press, the arbor press, and he will help us to install all the bearings. This is a steering stem, and this is the first step we need to install when we start working on our frame. So after this is done, we're gonna grease all the bearings, and we would be able to start putting our frame back together, so the parts will actually start looking as a dirt bike again. Jay also helped us to install the bearings on the linkage and the swing arm. We used a little torch, heat everything up while the bearings were sitting in the freezer. Once everything is hot and the bearings are cold, then it's much easier to install it together. Make sure you keep those clearances so you can fit your washers. This little cool tool is from our friends from Australia. This is a 3D printed tool that is just making it much easier to peg your lower bearing on the steering stem. We're gonna peg that using a tool, and for the upper bearing, I'm gonna do that back at my place. I'm gonna use the old school method when you put a grease in the palm of your hand and then you peg the bearing one by one. I'm using a stacked raw aluminum clamps from Yamaha for the handlebars, but later we decided to get it all Cerakoted, so we are matching the triple clamps. The most important part is to grease everything, peg everything nicely with the grease. I got this blue Maxima grease that I'm using for all my rebuilds, and just put it on my finger and kind of push it in between the bearings, between those needles, make sure that it's all packed. Also, this is a truss bearing that I also packed, put it in. You know, when you are putting these together, I always check microfiche, so I know the diagram, I know how things go back together, because I don't remember when I take it apart. Now we are going with a stock chain block, and the top was actually the raw aluminum, and we did that with a metal finishing, the crease puffer. We Cerakoted everything to match our engine and other pieces. This is a tungsten color, and we're using a spec bolts for this. That everything just looks so nice. Everything is shiny, and slider, same stuff. I'm just going with the stock black color, nothing too fancy. This is going to be a motorbike, and as I said before, we are trying to keep the heritage as much as we can. We're not gonna use too much aftermarket parts on this build. And now comes the most exciting part of today's build, and that's when you actually take your engine that is done and you put it inside in the frame. So you can see I'm a rookie. I left the Kickstarter on there, but it's a 125, so it's not a big engine. It fits in easily, and look at that. Once you put it in and you see that the contrast with all the colors and the combination I paint and everything, I love how everything looks. Putting the bolts in, also we make sure that we have the blue grease on them. We don't put bolts in without the grease. There you go. We are going to be using a lot of thread locker today and also a grease. Both are blue colors, but it's very important what you use when and on what bolts. So right here on all these things, when there are some bolts that I don't want to come out, of course I'm gonna use a blue thread locker medium strength. And when there is something that needs to move all the time and doesn't, I don't want it to get stuck in there, then I'm gonna use a lot of blue grease. This is a brand new reservoir I'm installing right here on that brake. I'm gonna show you how it looked before, and you will understand why I have to get new one. Look at that nasty yellow old reservoir. There are a lot of little things that I got OEM from Yamaha. I think this thing wasn't that expensive. Also these little clamps we got OEM from Yamaha. And look at this brake caliper, nicely clean, rebuilt, and golfer lines. Now we're installing this brake pedal that actually is a stack. I just nicely clean everything, and you see I greased this bolt as this brake pedal needs to be moving, you know, up and down all the time. This is a stock setup for the brake, and Yamahas are a little bit unique because they have the pin from the inside out, and other bikes have it the other way. Yamaha says that, well, you need to see if you are missing that pin, so kind of makes sense, but I'm not sure if I'm a big fan, so we might be doing something else here a little bit later. And this spring, you know, is a spring to bring back your pedal, so I am now thinking that I'll probably go with a different setup here. We will see in the next video. Again, a lot of grease when you're installing your bolts, when you're doing your axles and your big bolts through the engine and through the swing arm. You always want to be using grease. And this bolt right here, the chain adjuster block bolt, that's not a thread locker, that's a grease, because this thing needs to be moving in and out when you need to adjust your chain. Stock wheel that I just cleaned and hydroblasted. And this is not my final wheel that I will be using for this build. But first I want to have these wheels and get it all break in. Once the bike is all nicely running, we will take the wheels apart, we will cut all the spokes. I have new black rims, and the stock hubs will be nicely cerakoted to match all the color on my bike, so it's gonna look so much better. This is just you can call it a work wheel. Same goes for the front, the grease, the axle, and the front wheel also is just a stock wheel that I cleaned at Cenometal Finishing. I put whole wheel inside the hydroblasting cabinet and I cleaned it real nice. So I think it's good for the working wheel, but once we are done, as I said, we're gonna have wheels looking way better than this. Of course, you want to use the soft hammer when you're installing the wheel. You don't want to damage that side of an axle. Now look at those beautiful radiators that ICW fixed for us. I'm gonna have a little reminder for you how they looked before. Look at this banana. This is how I got the bike, and it was just terrible. But ICW, man, they are magicians. They make it nice and straight. They put these braces on them. They clean them real nice and ship them back to me. If you want to get your done, check out ICW. They do amazing job, and it's not expensive at all. Some of the fins on the radiators are not amazing. I spent hours trying to make them perfect, but yeah, this is how far I got it, so I think I will leave it there. Hoses, again, as I said in the beginning, I'm just using the stock hoses for the radiators. I cleaned them at Cenometal Finishing in hydroblasting cabinet and sprayed some WD on them. They look brand new, they look amazing. Same goes for the clamps. Everything is old stock, 22 years old. I was thinking to buy a new radiator hoses, maybe red color, but I couldn't find anything for this older bike. This is 2001, so I just decided to go with the stock black color. I think they look amazing. This shifter is a brand new stock shifter because the old one looked terrible, and this brand new from Yamaha. Again, I spent a little money there, but hey, this thing needs to look 100%. So we went for a brand new OEM shifter right there, and also we use a blue thread locker on that screw. Now if you can look at everything on this side, and especially now when I'm installing this case saver, this is also OEM that I bought from Yamaha. But looking at it right now, it's too much plastic, too much boring plastic on that side, so we will have to do something about it. Now these stock rubber pieces are old, 22 years old, that I cleaned nicely and they look amazing. I use a little bit of the Motion Pro hose installation tool, help to push them into those holes, and also this thing for the tank stock that I cleaned. These foam dampers are the only things I had to buy new OEM. Each was like $8, not expensive. There is a little tape on the back, so you peel it off and then you stick it on the frame. Make sure that the position is correct, that they will be not sticking out from underneath the tank once you install the tank. So I checked the old pictures and install it the same. Now this is an old subframe that we just cleaned real nice, and I wish I can buy a new airbox, but nobody was selling new airbox for this bike. So I just had to clean everything as nice as I could. And you know, at the end of the day, looking at everything right now, it's not looking too bad, and especially when we put a new graphics on this white plastics, I think it will tie everything in and it will look amazing. All the bolts using here are zinc plated. Charles from MX Revival helped me to do that, so everything is looking really nice right here. Clamps on the carburetors are brand new. You can see how nice and shiny they are. I first used the old ones, but they just look terrible, so I went ahead and ordered new OEM ones, and they look so nice. These little rubber pieces that go to the back of your subframe, I just took them out before I hydroblasted the subframe, cleaned them, spray some WD on them, and they're good to go. Of course, we have to install our uni air filter. It's not oiled yet. I don't need to oil it yet. I just wanted to block the air box so nothing gets in. And this thing even matches the color of the bike. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna install the pipe. These pieces are all stock. I had to buy some new from Yamaha OEM again. This black piece is stock. The other one I just cleaned nicely. And we'll be installing FMF fatty pipe. That is a chrome pipe. I was thinking to get maybe, you know, the other one, the factory ones, but they actually don't offer it for this bike, so I ended up having this chrome pipe, which by the way looks amazing. Also brand new springs right there, OEM from Yamaha, and this Motion Pro puller. Pull it down. It feels amazing once you are putting everything brand new on a bike like this. And you notice that all my mounts are still loose, and I'm not gonna tie them all the way until everything is on the bike, even my shorty silencer. So right now we just kind of go a hand tie, maybe a little bit more than that, but we don't go all the way. So we want to make sure that our alignment is correct. So once we have everything on, then we'll go back. Look at that little shorty. That thing will sound pretty good. It's kind of sad that this older YZ125 covered that shorty silencer with a side plate. And now I go back and touch every single screw, make sure everything is nice and tight. There you go. Beautiful. Choke on. Let's go.
I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind climbing 8 more floors, 'cause these stairs are all heading to you. I don't wait for tomorrow's sunshine when I feel it today. But when it's cold in the dead of winter, remember that snow melts away. One more cold drink, one more roll.
I got 2 different colors for this plug here, gray and black. I'm gonna use black because it's fitting better with everything else we have. These are 3D printed from my friends in Australia. I'm gonna share their Instagram on the page. Nice fit. Bum, 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 bum. Good to go. I keep installing the plastics and I really like what I'm seeing here. You can see everything is coming together nicely, installing the rear fender, shrouds and side panels and all that kind of stuff. You can really see how this bike is taking shape. We have beautiful white color plastics and it's looking great with this red color frame. It's a good contrast. And if I imagine the seat cover that will be done matching everything plus the graphics, I think this thing will look really nice. I'm happy that I chose these retro colors. White, red and a little bit of black. That's what these YZs used to look like back in mid-80s. I think it's gonna look really good once we are done with everything.
Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. We don't need plans or a fancy agenda. Well, let's just see where it goes. We got no care for the way people stare at the dust and the dirt on our clothes. Hey, my friend, we'll never say remember when, if we keep on making memories where we stand, where we stand. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. And go put on that old wedding dress now. Probably still fits like a glove. And tell the band to play one more slow song, 'cause you still have all my love. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old.
So we got rid of the stock setup for the rear brake with the spring hooking up to the frame. Now we are using this Fast Company setup with the spring that you can actually preload. You can make your brake pedal feel the way you like it. And also it comes with a brand new clevis that is black anodized and everything is looking way better, fitting with the theme of the bike.
No more whiskey, I'll have a coke. Catching bass on an old fishing boat.
We'll be going to Jay Clark's garage soon, but before we do that, we're gonna stop by Motoseat in Temecula and take care of our seat. Travis is the owner and the founder of Motoseat. As you can see, he really knows how to install these seat covers. I asked him how many he installed by now. He said well over 1,000. And he's taking care of all the seats that I have on my builds. He's in Temecula, a local company, and has been doing this for like 30 years. I'm flying through this video. You can see what kind of technique he is using. If you are interested in the detailed video how to install your seat cover, I'm gonna put some links below in the description. We met him last year and we went through everything, through all the tools he is using, through the technique and how to make your seat nice and straight and installed like a pro. Alright, so as you can see, the seat looks amazing. I'm really happy that Travis has that color that is matching our frame. This is gas red, not a Honda red, so it looks really different. It's a little more vivid, a little more red, and it's just fitting everything, all the colors on the frame, on the seat cover, and on the graphics will be all the same. And we are at Jay Clark's garage, Dirt Bike TV, taking care of our brakes. We are using this vacuum system that is actually sucking air and the fluid through the system. So we just make sure that our reservoir is full of brake fluid, and then suck it through the system and make sure that everything is full of fluid. And then we just pump the brake and release, pump and release. And that's pretty much an old school way how you would bleed any brake on any car, bike or motorcycle. Hey, what's up guys, Rado here, and this is 2001 YZ125 build that I've been working on for some time, but it's done, we are finished, and I'm so happy to finally show it to you guys. So let's look at everything here in the details. This has been a long project that I've been working for over a year. In the middle of the project I got my surgery on the shoulder and all the good stuff, so it took a little bit longer than what I would like, but we are done and I think it looks amazing. Don't forget to comment below and let me know what you think about this build as we go through it, or at the end of the video, you pick. It started with 2001 YZ125 worn out. This is a picture of it, and it didn't run very good, it didn't look very good, and it just really needed a lot of love. I want to see how good was this 2001 bike when it came out of the showroom floor. So everything is 2001, and I did a little bit special work to the engine. We're gonna talk about it. We took it apart with Brad at Parapros, and then we shipped over the cylinder head to Tom Morgan Racing. He cut it out to 134 bore, and Millennium plated it for us, and then he did this custom head, cylinder mat, and also the piston, matched everything to 134 race fuel only. So this thing should be pretty fast and should run really good. Pro X crank, we got a Wiseco piston, we got a clutch from Rekluse, not auto clutch. This is a torque drive clutch. It works really good, grabs a lot better than the stock clutch, and will give us a little more power, you know, coming out of those corners. So we got all that. Andrew Langston split the crank for us and used the Pro X rod, put everything back together and actually balanced it better than a stock crank. Once we had everything back from Tom Morgan, we went back to Parapros. Brad put the engine back together and it looked really beautiful. As you can tell, we have titanium foot pegs from Scar. We are running this setup from Fast Company, that clevis in black color and the returning spring. The radiators on this build are stock. We cleaned them and sent them over to ICW. They welded a support on them, straightened them, and made them look pretty much better than new. We got a full FMF system with a shorty silencer. The pipe is FMF fatty, and it was originally nickel plated, but I didn't really like how it looked. I thought it will look much better in this factory finish. So we actually stripped the nickel plating and sent this pipe over to Robbie's pipe, and he did this factory treatment, welded this FMF badge on the pipe, and I think this looks amazing. So for the tank, you know, if we go with the factory blue, this wouldn't make sense for our build here. So we are using a white Clark tank, and all the plastics are from mxplastics.com, and the graphics are custom made from Decal MX. I told them, hey, these are the companies I work with, throw them on the plastics and give me this old school look. I want to have this old school Yamaha stuff, this Yamaha fork, and also I wanted to have my name and my flag right here. I'm from Slovakia, so it's right here on that side panel. And other than that, I just told them to be creative and do something cool. They shipped this over to us. First day, they showed me the design and I said I love it. and after that they printed it out and we have it on the bike. We installed it together with Jay Clark from Dirt Bike TV, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. I really love it. For the seat, we went with Moto Seat as we always do. Travis at Moto Seat is taking care of all our seats on the channel, and this is a Gas red, black and white. I think it looks amazing and it's matching our build. It's really good. These are the stock hubs from the bike. Then I got brand new spokes and brand new rims from Task. Brad Parapos helped me to put everything together, and I think it looks really good. All the bolts, all the little shiny nickel plated bolts are from a spec bolt. Everything on the bike, everything on the engine, on the plastics is from them, and is looking amazing. Works Connection got a lot of little pieces, and since this is white, red, black combination, everything that is anodized from Works Connection is in red color. Front right here we are running ODI bars with the ODI grips. I like Temp band, that's what feels good for me, and you know, I just went with a stock size 7/8. I didn't want to do any kind of bracket changing to a fat bars. I think this is what's looking the best on 2001 YZ125. Golfer, we have all the brake components from Golfer, steel braided lines that are custom made for us to match our color combination. Red banjos here, and also the dark gray lines, and also we have oversized front rotor and standard rear rotor from Golfer. All the brake components are from Golfer, so these brakes are feeling great and working even better. Of course, we are running Dunlop tires, MX33 in front and in the rear. We have Pro X front sprocket, rear sprocket, and a gold chain. It just looks amazing. When you look at the chain guide, we didn't go aftermarket. That's actually the stock chain guide that was on the bike before. Hydroblasted and Cerakoted it to match everything else on the bike. We are running a Works Connection clutch patch in black and red colors that is matching everything on the bike, and it feels really good. And now the cables are also brand new. Pro X cable for the clutch and also for the throttle. We took the carburetor completely apart and hydroblasted, Cerakoted the parts, then got Pro X rebuild kit. Brett from PowerPros again rebuilt the carburetor for us, put everything together so it looks really nice. It's matching the engine with all the hydroblasting and Cerakoting. Then we got V-Force reed cage, put that thing in, install the carburetor, and the jetting actually came from Tom Morgan Racing, because once he does your porting and your cylinder and everything, he will send you a sheet with the jetting, so you can follow that and you can have this engine run really good. Of course, we are running a uni air filter, and this thing is powered by VP C12 race fuel mixed with Klotz R50. 32-1. A big thank you go to Jay Clark from Dirt Bike TV, who was with me from the beginning of this build and helped me on a bunch of stuff with parts, with advice, also helped me to press the bearings in and do many things. And as you can see towards the end of the build on the videos, we also went to his place, to Dirt Bike TV place, and we finished little details there, bleeding the brakes, installing the graphics, doing the braking period.
I think we're good, Rado. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Do you wish you could ride it?
Yeah.
Sorry to make you sad.
I was already in the sling with the hand after the surgery, but Jay was helping me, and we did this bike 100%. We finished everything, so now it is the way it is, and it's ready for good testing. So Jay Clark from Dirt Bike TV, thank you. So this bike is fresh. I didn't ride it yet in this form. That's because we want to have someone who really knows how to ride two-stroke, especially 125s, to first test this bike. So we're gonna get together with David Pingree from Wiseco Throttle Media. You know, David has been racing these bikes back in the days. He almost won a championship. I think he was like 1 or 2 points short of a championship on 125. We're gonna ask him once we meet. so we are here with David Pingree from Whiskey Throttle Media, and I really wanted you to ride this bike because, hey, I put so much time and effort into this bike, and I wanted someone who really knows how to ride 125 to give it this inaugural ride. And so thanks a lot for doing this for us. Thanks for meeting us here at Kauai and riding this bike. It just looks so amazing. It sounds amazing. I was watching you and having a big smile on my face. So thank you so much for doing it. David, what do you think? How this bike feels? Because I wanted to do this 2001 and do as good as possible in the stock form. Maybe just do a little tweaking to engine, but suspension, everything else is stock. How do you like it? How does it feel compared to everything new that is on the market now?
So first of all, thank you for letting me ride it. I always appreciate the work that goes into these older rebuilds because I am in the process of doing one. I've done some before, and man, they are a lot of work. They're a lot of money and a lot of effort, so I really appreciate what goes into it. And for me, it's a little bit of kind of like stepping back in time because I was still racing professionally in 01. I was racing for factory KTM at the time, which were not great bikes, and Yamaha of Troy were riding these, and they were amazing. And so it was fun for me to go back and the things that I felt, it's a much smaller bike, the whole rider compartment, which fits me great. Maybe a bigger guy would feel more comfortable on a modern bike, but these just felt really comfortable to me. The Race Tech guys absolutely crushed the suspension. Such a good feel. I can fly down these hills into those bumps and I wasn't worried. Sometimes with older suspension, even if you have a company revalve it, the components get worn out and it doesn't work great. This stuff worked really well. So I was really happy with just the handling, the way the thing turned, and the suspension. As far as the motor goes, very crispy. Like you said, Tom Morgan had given you a jetting spec and he pretty much nailed it. Maybe we're a touch fat in the middle, but the bottom was really snappy and crispy, and then up top was perfect, you know.
Well, that's something that I wouldn't feel. That's why I wanted you to ride this bike, because these kind of things, like, I have no idea, because for me it just feels good, bottom is good, top is good, and I cannot really like feel these little details like in the middle, but you can pick it up real quick.
Well, that's just a lot of years of racing professionally at this level. You've got to find every little, jetting was so important, right? So I got pretty good at, even if I wasn't the best at picking out the jets or jetting it, which I'm okay, I can tell the mechanic, hey, we're a little bit fat in the middle. Let's try either a leaner needle or a clip position. And so anyway, it's subtle, but I think that's one little thing that could be cleaned up. But it pulls, it like I said, the jetting was nice and clean on the bottom, so just a little touch of the clutch and the thing's going. And really strong pull through the mid, and then a nice pull over the top, you know. Maybe you could get a little more over rev with an ignition, but for what you're using this for, that would be high level racing stuff. This has a really nice usable power. That's what's fun about it. Doesn't take a lot to get going. The extra few cc's you put in there kind of help that pickup. And then the pull through the middle is super fun. I mean, it's picking the front wheel up and you're going. It's a lot of fun. So and I had Chris Kiefer and his buddies up there go, man, that bike sounds good. So
cool.
Anytime I hear that, I'm like, yeah.
Right on.
So it was a lot of fun.
Glad to hear that, yeah. Right on. And how do you feel about the suspension? Because you know, I really don't want to touch it. Some people told me like, hey, how about you get the SSS fork in it and then make it feel a little bit better. But I really wanted to have this 2001 and have the Race Tech do their magic and see how good that would be. And they set it up for me, but I'm way slower, right? I'm like slow, but a little bit heavier than you. So maybe that kind of equalize it, or?
Well, all I can tell you is it worked really well. I was surprised because, again, you go back to 2001, it definitely wasn't the current SS fork that we have, or SSS. So I was a little unsure how it would feel, and man, I had plenty of confidence coming into bumps, landing hard off of things, no problem. You know, the first few laps, anytime I ride a new bike that's older, kind of like, what's this thing gonna do? How's it gonna feel? No worries. By 2 laps in, I was just going.
Yeah,
so,
you look really good on it. Like as I said, I was watching you and just having really good time.
Well, I had a smile on my face under the helmet. Lot of fun to ride.
All right, well, thanks a lot, David. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, buddy. Thanks for involving me.
Hopefully you work more in the future when I do another build. Well, thanks guys for watching, and don't forget, whatever you do, stay motivated. See you later.